So I want to talk to you about 8 different learnings that I had as a coach. Now, remember, I've always been in a position of power, development manager, CIO, COO, all of these sort of areas as ability to implement change. I was learning new things all the way through. So there's 8 lessons that I learned. The first one was people need to be on the same page. So I went to the CIO and I said, hey, what if I trained these people? And he was, oh, cool, that's fine. Turned around and said, oh, we're going to need a trainer and they cost fortune. Did you realize, of course, that I am a certified trainer? So no problems. So I was able to take all the teams through Agile training with IC Agile and give them an idea of what it is that we're talking about when we start talking Agile. Because with, what is it, about 100 people, I would ask there, what does Agile mean? I would probably get 120 answers, different answers. So they all knew what it meant, but they all knew differently. So the first thing to do is put them on the same page, that if we're having a conversation, we all know what that conversation is actually about. So the training happened. Now, the training also had a better side effect, is that it also realized with a lot of people, hey, Steve actually knows what he's talking about. Steve has done this. Steve has got a bit of experience behind him with all these other companies as well. So I had an input into that. I had a bit of a change. And what that change happened was the conversations around the office changed. There were starting to get a few Agile meetings actually happening there. They came away a little bit more inspired on what they can do. So the Agile meetings started to happening. You walk around the office for 2 weeks and you'd never see anybody having anything but the old style, 3-hour-long project meeting. But suddenly you walk around the office and there's people there having retrospectives. There's people having stand-ups. There's people having just normal get-together meetings that are your normal Agile meetings, going through, finding out what they're going to be planning for the next sprint, etc. So the conversation changed. The word sprint came into it. They still didn't want to do burn downs, and I asked them why. And their response was that management would compare their burn down with somebody else's, or would look at them and tell them off for a burn down. And that puzzled me. So I said, why would they do that? They said, oh, they don't understand what a burn down is. So isn't that your job to let them know what they're looking at? Oh, no. So they wouldn't take action on that. So I had a talk with the CIO and he told me about I think the old management style in there was very much jump on anything and started yelling at people. So, and that had gone for at least a few years before I had arrived. Those people had moved on, totally different management style in there, but the old fears were still the same. So trying to get them to change, that was difficult, but eventually that took 2 years, most of it, to actually get to the stage where they were open with anybody wandering past. It's quite good. So as I said there, teams are inspired to try. So things were happening. So number 2 is another one is my lesson. Is another one of my sort of theories of what I had to do, because I keep beating myself up about these people here or this person or that person is always going to turn away from me because I'm going to change their job, is what they're thinking I'm doing. And it wasn't until somebody actually took me aside, and I have some very, very good coach friends who are organizing somewhere else that I sit and have a cup of coffee with at least once a week. And one of them actually said to me and said, not everybody's going to get on your wagon. Not everybody's going to understand. And as soon as you accept that, you can move on. And that was a very hard lesson for me because I don't like to leave anybody behind. I've been into organizations where people in teams go from absolutely, I keep saying this all the time, absolutely dreading coming to work on Mondays and spending the entire work looking forward to Fridays, to 3 to 6 months later, going home to tell their parents and their family and everybody else what fantastic work they're doing. At work, and looking forward to joining the best team in the world on Monday. So I liked everybody to come along. I thought this was great, but I had to accept it. Some people won't. It's a very, very difficult situation there. That's the idea. As my friend said to me, it's not your problem that they won't. Don't take it on your shoulders. It is their problem that they won't. So once I'd accepted that, things became a little bit easier. And what I actually found was that I couldn't change those people. There's no way that I could change those people because I was perceived as being a person in power. And it wasn't me that was going to change that. It was the team that changed that for them. So it's the team. It's a matter of trust. They don't trust people. Some people will never, ever trust a person in power, but they will trust their teammates. So that's what happened. They came along with their teams and made that change.